take it away, top right.
In the top right, or representing Fires and Risen Gaming, it is Savior.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, representing Team All In, it is the red Protoss, HotBox Hero. So this is a matchup I play often. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but interesting. So
Um,
Savior built a gas and then canceled making the gas.
I wonder if that was maybe he was looking into a different build order than what
Potentially.
he's been practicing.
He might have been thinking, hey, let's do this, gas first build, and then thought against it, or maybe a little bit in his head thought he already made his barracks, getting ahead of himself, making the gas, and realizing he didn't.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
canceling it. I mean, there are good builds for both ways, right? You can go gas first, or you can go racks first. There are options. It's not a nail in the coffin either way.
I like this. This is something I do in TVP. I put a SCV on patrol right at the top of my ramp. So when that probe comes in, I don't need to worry about it poking my SCV even once. The SCV is already there to react to it.
Yeah, as I've been grinding ladder as Protoss lately, I've seen a lot of Terran actually doing that. I don't do that because I'm greedy and I want my guys mining minerals. Protoss gets in here and scouts the entire main base with his probe. Does see that it's going to be a one gas opener from Terran. Wants to see him throw down the expansion, try and delay it as much as possible. Expansion is going to go down now from Savior.
On time. Keep in mind, on time. That probe didn't do anything. That probe took no damage, but it didn't actually do anything. Savior's gonna get his bunker up, and then it's gonna the build order is gonna go from there. And in fact, this probe is gonna die to a Reaper.
Yeah, and that's good. He doesn't really see if there's a bunker or not yet. Yeah, the probe didn't do much, and the CC did go down on time. However, do note he did force Savior to pull one SCV off and then two SCVs down to the low ground. All of that is lost mining time. Every 1 minute that a worker is not mining is 60 minerals. It's 5 minerals per 5 seconds. So this stuff does add up. So probe just doing probe things at the start of the game is always annoying.
So what I've started to do in TVP, just to be an annoying twat, is I'll come across the map with one of my first 12 workers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hide it behind the Protoss's natural expansion, and I'll just eBay block their natural
I
after my barracks goes down.
I think it's an excellent move. Anything you can do to try to not let Protoss play the game that they want to play, I think is good. And also I think Protoss has the same idea when it comes to playing against the Terran. If you can force them to do something different that they don't want to do, i.e., pulling workers at the start to stop a pro from killing an SCV, you're doing good stuff. Anytime you can disrupt anything is good. We do see here, oops, a little bit of camera fumble there. This looks like 3 gateway robo, which I think is pretty standard safe, right? Like,
Okay,
it's good.
so 3 gate robo, it leaves you susceptible to drops because blink is normally your drop defense kind of thing with stalkers, but it is the safest possible way you can get out Colossus disruptors, whatever you want. Also, that Reaper, ouch.
Yeah,
He
I
also spotted double adept.
he did, and he got the scout in the robo and one of the gateways in the natural. So I mean, he at least knows robo gateways. Doesn't look like an all in. There's not really enough space to the right of that to put two more gateways. There is, but you think he would have seen it? Um,
Okay, so here's the real crucial part about opening robo first. Your third base, untouchable. Untouchable by initial Terran pushes. So those, you know, 1-1-1 kind of tank pushes that Terran like to do against Protoss, either disrupt their game or just outright kill them. Robo first kind of just stops that. It stops that from happening.
yeah, it's a very good defensive tool. You okay? This observer is going to see this completely. Knows there's Hellions on the way. Doesn't move units in position. I wonder if he just completely missed that. Warps 2 sentries down to the natural. Yeah, he didn't see it. He wasn't looking. But so
Okay,
like Robo
that's
first,
really
good.
lucky.
I think against
No, he saw it. He saw it. He's moving a stalker to intercept. He also has another observer to the north of his base.
oh, he'll see this. He'll see it before he gets in.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about though. Robo first into third base, robotic support bay into the fastest Colossus possible.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of decent builds that can hit and take out the third base. It's not unfortunately what Savior's doing with his build pattern that he has done. Hellions are gonna come in here now into the natural. Yeah, dude, Protoss completely missed this. Hellions are gonna start taking out workers, and there's no
Oh
should
wow.
battery done yet.
That's rough, man. That's rough. So the Warpinist Stalkers will shoo this away at the very least, not before he takes 8 probes in damage from 3 Hellions. That's actually a lot more damage than he probably was anticipating to take.
Yeah, and look at the scout he got though too. He saw the robotics facility upgrading, so you have to know. Most likely, this is Colossus. It could be Warp Prism Disruptor, but with the Warp Prism speed. But given the units that he's seen, you would assume it's Colossus probably. I don't think he's
Oh
seen
yeah.
the third base yet, has he? No. So
No, he
Savior,
is not.
Savior going here for a 2 base all in.
It's gonna run headfirst into Shield Battery Colossus. This is bad. All right, so Robo first is probably one of the few build orders that Terran can fight against in a macro game straight up. And the reason I say this is because Vikings are a godsend here. You can make 2 Vikings, and all of a sudden, this Colossus isn't going to get as much damage done as the Protoss would hope to get against pure bio.
Yeah, Vikings are definitely a good counter to the Colossus. So here's the thing, right? The strength of this the 3 gate robo into Colossus very quickly is a head on assault is kind of difficult to deal with. Multi-prong aggression. I'm sorry, a head on assault's easy to deal with. Multi-prong aggression, you start being forced to split your Colossus. He does see this drop coming in the top right. Medevac on the left side is going to start to be mobile again with the Hellions. Marines run headfirst into Colossus,
That's rough.
and they say, time to GTFO. But these 3
These
Hellions,
Hellions getting into this. Yeah.
yeah. So let's see what kind of
Takes
purchase they
3
can get.
Hellion shots to one shot a probe.
It does. Oh, and he forces an overcharge in the main. He is, again, okay, so you open up really quick into 5 racks and then decide to get a uh, third CC. So maybe he thought better of it after realizing how many Colossus were on the field.
Yes. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Now, he probably, if he realized that it was going to be this kind of like weird 3 base Colossus build, by the way, there's a timing that comes off of this for Protoss that is absolutely disgusting. Oh no. No, the Hellions, ow.
So with those Hellions going down, the backstab potential that's the threat that has been existing of Hellions in the mineral line really decreases. Also, he made some defensive turret cannons for that as well.
Yeah, so you could spin this a positive way in the fact that he's forced at least a cannon, a shield battery in every mineral line. That's something the Protoss doesn't want to do, but is forced to do. By the way, Templar Archives is finishing up now. Charge is on the way. +1 ground armor is about a quarter of the way done for the Protoss player.
Yeah, that's good for Proton. There's one medevac in the bottom right. I don't see any other medevacs for Savior here. So it looks like he went straight into adding more. Okay, more medevacs are on the way. But he added some Vikings, which is going to be good. So here's my thoughts on this. Right, even if you make Vikings, unless you have an overwhelming number, attacking into a Protoss is really difficult if there's shield batteries. So this army becomes. You go into a situation where your goal now is to deny the Protoss from taking his 4th base. Savior needs to do that because attacking into this is hard.
Not impossible, just difficult, especially with the addition of Archons, which he's now seen with this scan.
And they
All
take a
right,
lot of
so
health, and also overcharge makes one shield battery have infinite energy for a little bit. So you don't want to attack into that.
So what I think Savior should do now, and what a lot of Terran players need to kind of get into their head, as soon as you see Archons, as soon as you see Templar, back up, get a Ghost Academy. He's doing it right now. It's halfway done in his main.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. Now, this opens up a 2-2 Ghost timing that is absolutely disturbed. What the Protoss player needs to do now is realize that he's on a timer. That scan, just set a timer on this army. As soon as Ghosts come out, they're going to start stripping away shields. This army is going to become more than useless. The one thing you don't want to do as Savior is give your entire Terran army to this Protoss player who still has more power potential than you.
Yeah, so 3 Archons go down for 2 tanks. I don't see how much bio fell, but it looked like an even trade. That looked like, oh, okay. So Saviour says, hey, your entire army's over here. I'm going to go drop in your main. A little bit of hesitation here. Stalkers are going to come in. The rest of the bio will get cleaned up. And there are
Oh,
Blink
Stalkers are
Stalkers.
waiting in the main.
Yes, there are. 1 medvac low on HP. All units do come out. Shield Battery going to do shield battery things.
Yeah, shield battery overcharge on the Stalkers. That's going to be really helpful as the Colossus climb up this cliff to deal with the rest of this bio. He's going for the robotics support bait. That's a smart choice. No disruptors, no more Colossi for you.
And now he's going to get out of there. I don't, I mean, yes, he made the best of a bad situation whenever his army got pinned right here, especially in that corner. But he traded out a lot for. He's almost. I mean, he's behind double army supply at this point. Um, I
Yeah, he's been missing workers, by the way, this entire time. As he's been microing this army, Ghosts are hitting the field now, which is great. 2-2 is such a huge power spike for Terran here.
yeah
But the one thing we've constantly seen with Savior, and I'm gonna poke at him a little bit for it, is every time he's microing, he's not producing SCVs at home. He's not doing the things he needs to do, which is fair, right? You can't be always on top of that stuff. If all of us were, we'd all be GM.
yeah. I wish I was GM. I miss those days. Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult sometimes whenever you are playing Terran. You do have to, or at least we feel like we have this mindset of we have to be more aggressive. So we want to do a lot of stuff really quick, and sometimes that forces us to split our attention too many ways, and we miss some workers, and that shit adds up. Stalkers,
Zealot run by
excuse me.
on the fourth base.
Yep, those are zealots, not stalkers, guys. I'm not that drunk yet. Shh. I was gonna delay that base, and while that happens, it pulls the entire army of Savior down to the top left, and the top right is exposed, and Command Snare does go down.
EMP's the front line of Archon Zealot. The rest of the army is just backed up out of range of those EMPs. This is how you know it's going to hurt for the Terran player as he stims everything into Colossus Fire. No EMPs went down here. This Terran army is just going to get demolished.
I'm not sure. I think, nope, now the Zealots come in from the other side. Okay,
G
GG.